From Season 4, Episode 6 has not even aired yet, and the leaked images may have already confirmed who ends up fighting for their life at the end of the episode. And if this theory is right, then the person on that floor is not who most people expected. It is Henry, and everything from the trailer, the synopsis, and now these images points directly at him. Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to Breakdown Epic. Just to let you know, this video will contain spoilers. Now, before we had these images, all we had were trailer shots and speculation, but this batch of leaked photos changes things, because they do not just tease what is coming, they connect pieces that were floating separately and suddenly lock them into one terrifying picture. So today we are going through every major image, what it confirms, what it destroys, and why one detail in particular could reshape how I think this entire season ends. Let me start with the one that matters most, Henry at the bar with Sophia. That image alone should make everyone nervous, because we already know what Sophia is capable of. She does not attack people the way the monsters do, she gets inside them. Whether through touch, through proximity, or through whatever psychological channel she uses, she breaks people from the inside. And Henry walking into that bar already emotionally compromised after finding the man in yellow's suit at the station makes him the perfect target. Think about what that suit represents to him. His wife Miranda painted images of this place before she ever arrived. She saw the boy in white. She saw the man in yellow. She was connected to the curse in ways Henry still does not fully understand. So finding that outfit is not just creepy for him, it is deeply personal. It cracks something open, and Sophia is right there waiting when it does. Now connect that to what we already saw in the trailer. Someone goes into medical distress, Boyd is desperately performing chest compressions, and Tabitha is watching with an expression that does not look like concern for a stranger. That looks like someone watching a person she loves slipping away. If Sophia does something to Henry at that bar, whether through her touch or something else, and he collapses afterward, then he ends up back at Colony House in critical condition.
Boyd tries to save him. Maybe he technically does. Heart beating, breathing, but not awake. A coma. And that fits perfectly with the Episode 8 synopsis that says Henry faces a crossroads where he has to fight to survive. That word crossroads does not sound like a normal medical recovery. It sounds liminal. It sounds like the space between life and death that this show has been building its mythology around since the beginning. In my opinion, Henry is the person in that resuscitation scene, and I think by the end of the season, he does not make it back. Now here is why that matters beyond just being sad. Victor. If Henry goes into a coma or dies, that is Victor's breaking point. This man has survived decades of horror inside Fromville with a kind of numb, emotional stillness. But Henry is his anchor. Henry is the one real human connection he has left. And we already saw Victor on the roof in the trailer looking completely shattered by something. Nothing else explains that moment as cleanly as Henry being gone. And here is the darker possibility. What if Victor's grief is exactly what finally unlocks the memories he has been suppressing for years?
What if the pain of losing his father becomes the key that opens the door to everything he knows about the man in yellow, the children, and how this whole cycle started? Grief becoming a mechanism for truth. That would be devastating and brilliant at the same time. Now, let me shift to the totems, because I think those images might quietly be the most strategically important ones in the whole batch. Donna, Kenny, and Tabitha bringing the settlement totems back to Colony House is massive. We already saw during the settlement attack that those totems did not just hold back the doll monsters, they actually damaged them. That is huge, because up until now, the town has never had a real offensive weapon against any of the creatures. So if the totems can hurt the settlement monsters, the question becomes simple. Can they hurt the smiling monsters too? Because both types of creatures seem to operate within the same system, the same curse, the same cycle. So if the totems carry some kind of power that is genuinely hostile to whatever these monsters are made of, then bringing them to Colony House is not just a safety move, it is preparation for war. And in my opinion, this is directly connected to whatever Boyd's big plan is in the finale. The totems are not going to stay on shelves. They're going to be used as weapons. Now let me talk about the basement, because Jade staring at that wall is one of the most interesting images in the batch. During his mushroom vision, Jade saw a door beneath Colony House, something significant hidden underground. But here's my theory. When they go looking for it in episode 6, the door is not there. The wall is solid. Nothing. And that moment could be the thing that breaks Boyd's trust in Jade. Boyd is practical. He believes in what he can see and act on. So, if Jade drags him underground chasing a vision and they find nothing, Boyd is going to start questioning whether the mushroom trip was real at all. Was it genuine revelation, or was the town feeding Jade false information to waste their time while something worse happened above ground? That tension between Boyd and Jade could fuel the next several episodes, and honestly, I think both of them might be partially right.
The door might be real, but maybe it cannot be reached from inside Colony House. Maybe accessing whatever is underneath requires a completely different entry point, one connected to the caves. And maybe that is what the finale is really about. Boyd creating a distraction above ground while Jade goes underground through a different path. Now, the Julie and Sarah image feels quieter than everything else, but I actually think it is doing important work. Julie changed her outfit, and in From, wardrobe has always meant meaning. She is no longer wearing the chaotic retro clothes from her story walk into the 1978 timeline. She is in something new. And if the show is tracking her transformation visually, then by the end of the season, she may end up wearing the same outfit she had on at the end of Season 3 when she was trying to save Jim. That would mean her arc is not just about saving one person anymore, it's about going back to where the curse began and trying to break it at the source. The Elgen and Randall kitchen image also quietly confirms something the show has been hinting at for a while.
Healing in Fromville is not normal. It is accelerated. Elgin's eye is still swollen, but the stitches are out. Same with Randall. And when you combine that with Ethan walking days after a leg puncture and Ellis recovering from a stab wound overnight, it becomes clear that this town manipulates recovery the same way it manipulates everything else. That is not just a fun detail, that is a rule of the world, and rules in From always matter later. Finally, Miss Pat being treated at the clinic matters because her existence in the story could serve a much darker purpose. She was burned by the doll creatures. She saw what happened at the settlement. She saw Tabitha inside the heart chamber. And if she starts talking about what she witnessed, she could become the person who turns the town against Tabitha and Jade. Because we already know from Jade's visions that this is what happens every cycle. The town discovers who Jade really is. Fear spreads, blame follows, and eventually the residents kill him themselves. Not the monsters, the people. If Pat becomes the spark that starts that pattern again, then we are watching history repeat in real time.
And in my opinion, that is the real horror of From. Not the creatures outside, not the darkness, not the supernatural threats. The real horror is that fear turns people into the exact thing they are trying to survive. So when I pull everything together, here is what I think episode 6 is setting up. Henry goes to the bar after finding the yellow suit. Sophia does something to him. He collapses. Boyd tries to save him. He survives, technically, but enters a coma. Victor starts breaking down. The totems arrive at Colony House as potential weapons. Jade searches for the basement door and finds nothing. Boyd starts losing trust in him, and the town slowly begins turning against the people who know the most. That is not just one episode. That is the foundation for the entire endgame. But anyway, that is my breakdown of From Season 4, Episode 6, Leaked Images, and why I think Henry is the person fighting for his life at the end of the episode. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments. Do you think Henry survives Episode 6, or is this the beginning of the end for him? I will catch you in the next one.